The last saga in Dragon Ball Z is the Buu saga. And when getting to this part, my first thought was, do I have to pick just one? Like, there are so many glaring problems.
And he ain't wrong. So last time on Dragon Ball Z, we talked about Super's flaws. But just because Super got flaws does not mean that original Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z don't have flaws either. In this case, Dragon Ball Z is on the testament. We're here to talk about the biggest problem in every Z saga with my boy
Big Two, never the little one.
But it is Little Sage today. I'm on like 0.5 HP, no fan. Help, I'm dying.
It's no secret. I love Dragon Ball. I think it is one of the greatest anime of all time. It is without a doubt one of the most influential fictional stories within the last 40 years. But
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna pause right there just to get the message across. Yeah, other anime fans, stop the cap. I'm not gonna lie, like, as a person that's like literally determined to open their bag of anime, I'm binging through One Piece. I'm about to start rewatching. I'm about to start just binging through Yu Yu offline because it never went on stream. Full Metal Alchemist is in the gulag, so that'll get done soon as well. Code Geass was fun. Kaiju 8 is fun. Niggas want me to watch. I've already done binge JJK. There's a ton of anime I'm trying to add to my collection, but you niggas are like, this weird hate boner for Dragon Ball because it has clout is crazy. Please stop the bullshit. Please let it go. Dragon Ball is an all-time anime. If you hate the word most, it is easily one of the most influential animes. And I know I said most twice, but I mean, if you hate it being at the top spot, fine. But Dragon Ball is easily one of the most influential animes with fucking Goku, who, again, if you don't like the character, cool. But we do not have to act like Goku hasn't impacted people's lives. Get over it. I'm tired of seeing these random, yo, the Rasengan, yo, the Gum pistol, a Pokeball is more iconic than a Kamehameha shit. Even if you agree with one of those takes, goddamn, bro, get Dragon Ball out your dick, bro.
Dragon Ball Z is not perfect. I've made a lot of videos talking about Dragon Ball Z's imperfections, but this time, I'm gonna be a little more detailed. I think most fans would argue that Dragon Ball Z has 4 major sagas: the Saiyan saga, the Frieza saga, the Cell saga, and the Buu saga.
Thank you for not being that guy that splits into the Android saga. Hot take, I hate those people. I'm not a fan of it. I get it, different story, but like you could argue the Ginyu Force saga is a different story. You know that, like, come on, bro, just it's one fucking story. Shut up.
I'm gonna change up some of the names to something like the Namek saga or Android saga, then go right ahead. But I think you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
in this video,
it can't possibly be the Frieza saga. It's the name. Like, shut up, bro.
I'm going to determine what the biggest problems with those 4 sagas are and how the series would have been different without them.
Absolutely.
So let's start at the beginning with the Saiyan saga. I think this is easily one of the best 3 sagas in all of Dragon Ball. But like I said before,
and I agree. Saiyan Saga, look, I think you guys remember what my #1 arc was. If not, click this video. But spoiler, it's easy top 3. You have your nostalgia nod to original Dragon Ball. You have fantastic characterization from, I shit you not, everyone on the screen. Stakes are at an all-time high. Hell yes, this is one of the best arcs in Dragon Ball history.
Or Dragon Ball isn't perfect. Now, what problem could I be referencing? Is it revealing that Goku was an alien?
Yup.
Of course not. Or is it killing off the main character in the first few chapters? Nuh-uh. The biggest problem in the Saiyan saga is the introduction of power levels. In the first moments of Dragon Ball Z,
that's a long term. That's metagame. I disagree. That's metagame. Power levels were fine until we jump. Hey, you know what? I'll spoil one. I'll come up with another one for the Namek saga. You want to know what really you could say power levels is the issue for? Chat, y'all not gonna like this. You don't even gotta name the arc. You can name one character. You could name a single character where these goddamn power levels turn to it's Frieza. Absolutely. If you really sit there, put bias aside, and think about it, 1,000,000% it's Frieza's fault, especially more than the Saiyan saga. The idea that, like, oh, geez, there's actually power levels determine strength, that's perfectly fine. Hell, that's even nice. Native technology. But one, Frieza, for starters, I guess, like, spams it in the Namek saga. So, like, it's something that's completely in your face. 2, don't need to beat around the bush. The number exceeds 2 ridiculously high numbers insanely fast. To pull these things up, Goku, Saiyan, Saga, power level. And let's say Goku during the Raditz saga, it's at like 416. Then let's go to Vegeta, and let's say with Kaioken times 3, which is a literal linear multiplier, goes to 21,000. He's over 8,000, over 9,000 in the dub, over 8,000 in by Vegeta. That's fine. For this shit to, I shit you not, go from 21,000 being a crazy high number to, hold on, wait for it, 180,000. But wait, there's more. The main antagonist first form is
530,000.
When you raise the stakes so much so, do you understand how you could have been terrorizing and just said, yo, his power level is 100,000, even if you had to make a massive jump? You understand how crazy that could have been? You could have waited so long to unveil a character with a power level of 1 million, considering how fights look when the gap is between a couple of thousand. So the idea that I'm going Saiyan Saga here, and this is all respect, because most of the time, Toon got some good takes, but I gotta say, nah, power levels being introduced in the Saiyan Saga, you could argue is the first domino, but power levels is not even like this awful thing. It was poorly executed in the Namek Saga, and to be honest, your favorite character, Frieza, is the main culprit. I hate to be that guy, but it's true, and I love Frieza. Top 5 character for me.
Raditz uses a scouter to read the strength of a farmer. Now that insignificant moment was the beginning of a much more important challenge. For a good portion of early Dragon Ball Z, fights were reduced to a numbers game. The special techniques or odd fighting styles that were so prominent during Dragon Ball had gone away because 99% of the time, the winner of a fight was going to be the person with the highest power level. Although they were exciting at first, power levels presented a host of problems that undermined the series' narrative and thematic depth. In OG Dragon Ball, many of the battles displayed that strategy, skill, and determination could triumph against raw strength. Goku's battles against...
But here's my thing. I don't think the story telling you someone stronger hurts you, because it's heavily implied, even in original Dragon Ball, that certain people are going to win fights. Like, now that I really think about it, if we were to even go tournament arc to tournament arc, you know who's Goku's going to beat, and you know who's going to give Goku a good fight. So even if you had the power level, I could understand the concept of, oh, well, now you know this guy's technically stronger than Goku, but that doesn't factor for techniques that Goku can use. It doesn't factor for tenacity. It doesn't factor for mysteries like zenkai. It doesn't factor for things like just being a better martial artist. So I don't think that someone being obviously stronger headed into a fight or during a fight, the gap being exposed, is a foreign concept. So I don't think power levels is this like toxic thing that people play it off to be. And I don't want to be the guy that's like the one person on the internet defending power levels. I do think it got way overbearing at some point. But that's the thing. For like saying the introduction of power levels was a mistake, I can't really get with that. I think that it could have been much better in the execution.
Piccolo and Demon King Piccolo were thrilling because the outcomes were uncertain.
But I'm gonna let him talk.
hinging
I'm
on
not
more
gonna
than
keep
just power.
spinning circles.
And if it was solely about power, there weren't numerical values that made it so evident that one fighter would lose. Because very quickly in a Dragon Ball Z, the higher numbers almost always equal victory. Think about Vegeta when he was first introduced. He didn't do much and stayed in the background for a while, but his role was obvious, and that set him up as an insurmountable antagonist. Goku was forced to use techniques that harmed his body in order to remain competitive. But because of how heavily power levels were relied upon in the Saiyan saga, they had to keep increasing as the series went forward if there was to be any kind of tension. So by the time we see Final Form Frieza, power levels had inflated to such extremes that they lost meaning. This same inflation made it difficult.
I had to pause it there because, like, yeah, that would make you answer the Namek saga, gang. And on top of that, I'll give him this. Certain dialogue was unnecessary. For example, when Vegeta says it's over 8,000 or over 9,000, you understand? I don't know if it was just a DBZA thing or if it was in Dragon Ball, but Vegeta, all he has to do is not say his power level, and it's the same thing. Now, if your whole point is, oh, well, but he did say his power level, so it ruins it, that's fine. But I just think that can't be my biggest issue. And maybe we're nitpicking because it's a fantastic arc. Literally, knowing Vegeta's power level didn't change the fact that we obviously knew that Vegeta being mad and Nappa being mad, but Nappa being relative, likely meant that Vegeta was stronger than everybody there. It wasn't a shocker when Vegeta and Goku flew out to the desert, knowing the power level diff, and Vegeta was kicking his ass. Hell, literally in that arc, it wouldn't have mattered because we know the Kaioken multiplier. In fact, now that I'm really dumbing it down, since we know the Kaioken multiplier, but the effects of the Kaioken, it actually makes even more sense when you don't know who's going to win this fight because, yes, Goku has a technique that can help him surpass in terms of power level, but at the cost of his body, at the cost of stamina, and how long can he keep this up before Vegeta powers up, and let alone does Vegeta have a transformation. So it's so many ways where I'm just sitting here and I'm like, especially not the Saiyan saga, that power level's the biggest issue. I'll say my issue with the Saiyan saga if I have to come up with something, but I do think Saiyan saga is a damn good arc being said.
For the story to introduce a new threat without resorting to an extreme increase in power over the last enemy, and that made the protagonist do the same. Think of a character like Berter, who was introduced as the fastest in the universe, which is a cool title, but did it even mean anything? Goku made Berter look silly, and if I were a betting man, Frieza was faster than Berter too, so having a specific skill didn't matter because of power levels. But I think what suffered the most from power levels is the idea of surpassing one's limits. Now, this isn't a dream that every character in the story shared, but a good share of the most important characters constantly focused on growing as a fighter at all times. Goku's entire arc is built on the idea of endless improvement and breaking through barriers through sheer determination and hard work. The introduction of power levels introduces a cap, or an artificial ceiling that characters are constantly trying to break through, but that ceiling keeps moving higher. Power levels gave us something to talk about. It gave us this iconic moment.
What did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000!
But I think it is responsible for the power creep problem that Dragon Ball has. Maybe Dragon Ball Z would have had bad power creep regardless, but power levels definitely made it worse. Now the Frieza saga,
For me, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, so hey, we respectfully disagree there. For me, if I had to pick a flaw in the Saiyan saga, I mean, fuck Chaozu. But honestly, you could just, I love the Nappa Stomp, but I guess, unironically, you could either have had Goku and Nappa had a far more daunting fight, or you could have had the struggle with Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe in terms of how it was animated be better. Now, animation criticisms, I would agree with comment 249, that is Mickey, so I'm not even going to go there. Yeah, I'd say for me, just have Goku and Nappa have a better fight. If power levels are going to be something that's introduced, that's fine, but make it so where shit is more relative to where you can get the jump on somebody. Not that, oh yeah, blink, GG's, he's stronger. So I'll even give Toon a little bit of merit there in terms of his power level concern as early as the Saiyan saga. But that's what I'm saying. Execution would have helped a lot. And if you make it to where, yeah, you're 2,000 stronger than him, but nigga, he punched you in the face. That hurt. If they had really made Goku versus Nappa a really, really, really tough fight, if it was a better fight of calm Nappa versus Goku pulling up in base, yeah, absolutely.
All of Dragon Ball, and I'm ready to argue with anybody who disagrees, but there is one problem that was introduced in it and played a significant role in how that arc flowed.
Now this is where I go
and
power
that
levels.
problem is telling the audience blatantly what a zenkai boost is.
That's interesting. I'm gonna let them cook. Why?
Now this problem kind of builds off of the last one, as they both contribute to Dragon Ball's power creep. Zenkai boost is like a Saiyan's inherent cheat code. They have an ability to get stronger after every tough...
By the way, I don't think he has a problem with Zenkai boost. I think he has a problem with, again, being it like spoon-fed to you. Like literally Vegeta might as well giving you a Saiyan handbook like they did in the bridge. He might as well give you the handbook on what's going on.
Fight, and the Saiyans are a race that loves fights where they push themselves to the limit. So that is the first part of the problem. Zenkai boosts are just too convenient. Now, I know they don't play as much of a role in Dragon Ball Super, but the Frieza saga is shaped by Zenkai boost. Vegeta coming to Namek and being able to take out Queen Dodoria is because of a Zenkai boost. Goku being able to take out the Ginyu Force, training, but also because of a Zenkai boost. Vegeta killing Jace, solely a Zenkai boost. Vegeta being able to go against Frieza, solely a Zenkai boost. And last but not least, Goku fighting Frieza is literally because of a Zenkai
These
boost.
things don't make it
Whenever
deflating,
the
though.
Saiyans were about to lose, they'd heal and get stronger just like that. It wasn't even a situation where the Zenkai boost was over time. No, it was immediate. Goku and Vegeta and even Gohan rapidly surpassed what was once their peak like every 10 chapters. And speaking of Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, another issue with the Zenkai boost is that they only benefited Saiyan characters, therefore sidelining other members of the cast. Numerous
Okay,
individual
now that is a good point. Now, the idea that a Zenkai boost is Saiyan exclusive does low-key tell you, hey, only Saiyans fucking matter right now. Krillin is fucked. Piccolo, we don't know how strong he is, but if someone gets stronger, Piccolo's fucked. But Goku has a chance, but Gohan has a chance, but Vegeta has a chance. That's I can get more on board with. I would still somewhat have my criticism of a take like that. For example, I like the idea that the Zenkai boosts were introduced because the arc on Planet Namek is around Goku accepting his Saiyan heritage. I think telling us about Zenkai boosts, while yes, you're absolutely right, it does make Earthlings somewhat like a damn, and it does make Vegeta somewhat like a damn. But on the flip side, Goku kind of low-key spamming his Saiyan heritage while still being like, yo, I'm not really fucking with these evil ass Saiyan guys, but I for some reason want to fight Vegeta against something else about a Saiyan heritage. Vegeta, therefore, like Vegeta telling us all these things about what Saiyan biology is like, and then we're seeing, oh, Goku does do this, Goku does do that, Goku does do this. I fuck with that heavy. So I don't think it's a big enough issue for me to say it's number one, but I'm not going to say the idea of Zenkai boost is flawless because your Earthling point is valid, unfortunately. The pushback to that would simply be, and editor, don't cut this out because it's one of my hot takes of anime in general, Michael drop one hit a quitter TKO.
Not every character is going to be relevant in the fight.
It's just not going to happen. Y'all got to accept this shit. Y'all got to get over that shit. It's not going to happen. At the end of the day, I see where you're coming from, though. I do see the concern. I do see the concern.
Was in Dragon Ball are celebrated for the unique abilities and character traits. However, with the introduction of Zenkai boosts, non-Saiyan characters like Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha found themselves becoming increasingly irrelevant in combat scenarios.
That's the other side of the argument. I'm not gonna act like this is a bad argument. I would
be overshadowed by the Saiyans' rapid and seemingly effortless power gains, creating an imbalance that is hard to ignore as the series went on. Within the Frieza saga, the use of Zenkai boost was excessive, but there was so much going on within that story at the same time that ridiculous power increases was not something to really complain about. But the concept that made those increases possible created a lot of problems in the series going forward. Now, the Cell Saga was the first.
All right, for me, what's my issue? Because I don't have a lot of issues with the Namek Saga, to be honest with you. I think the pacing for it, for the most part, is fine. I think for me, there's a couple of things. You could have either, I'm not going to lie, actually, my concern about the Namek Saga, Piccolo.
Piccolo's my issue.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go with Piccolo. If I had to pick something, and I don't think Piccolo's bad in this arc, I love the fact that he's there. But one, the logistics of why he's there is kind of like, yo, bitch ass dragon did a on Namek joke. Are you serious? Like, the bitch ass dragon said, oh, he's on Namek. All right, bro. But then on top of that, y'all already know I am not for Piccolo being absurdly strong. I don't care what your justification is. Reality is that nigga goes from he can't even beat Nappa to
second form Frieza.
I don't care how good you think that nigga trains. Bro, stop. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Off air, off screen Piccolo did that. Come on, bro. That's crazy. That's 2. 3, and someone in chat mentioned it, it's kind of like, if you're gonna do that on Namek thing, is there a way we could have had Piccolo there earlier, or Piccolo take more pride in the planet? Because I kind of, like, we're on Namek. like, we're literally on Namek. And then obviously they hint to it. I know before Comet 232 does it, he hints to having pride in his Namekian heritage, but like, you would think, considering that it's like game on or game over, he would have like a lot more Namekian pride going on there, and it's kind of just mellow tone or whatever. So for me, honestly, unironically, I want more Piccolo, but like more sensible versions of Piccolo. Like, either like, don't be an asshole, even if he must be overpowered. Don't be a dick. Have this nigga on the other side of the goddamn planet. I understand it help for the save, but then most importantly, don't have a filler form to cook him. Maybe that's what number 1 is. Because if you don't think I'm cooking for Piccolo, that's fine. That actually is my number 1. I yapped. A filler form cooking Piccolo is even worse. I think the idea that Frieza was just cucking Piccolo in a form that nobody even cares or remembers about, to the point where they're not in games, whatever, bro.
Time where I think Dragon Ball Z started to decline. So there are a couple of different issues I see.
Oh, say that again. Hold on. What do you say? I'm gonna turn this volume all the way up here. What do you say?
Created a lot of problems in the series going forward. Now, the Cell Saga was the first time where I think Dragon Ball Z started to decline.
Oh, what y'all gonna do? Dragon Ball declined in the Cell Saga. Hey, man, big tune, man. We need to have tune on the channel. Have tune debate y'all niggas.
There are a couple of different issues I see with it, but none are more important then the decision to bring back Cell after his self-destruction. Cell coming back gave us the father-son Kamehameha, a great moment for Goku and arguably the greatest moment for Gohan in the entire franchise. It also added an unexpected twist to the story. I'm not denying any of that, but I do think Cell coming back diminished the impact of the decision Goku made. Goku's sacrifice was the culmination of his entire life up until that point. Even before the request he made after Cell's defeat, the setup and portrayal of Goku in this moment indicated that this would be the end for Goku. And after a lifetime of pushing his limits and protecting his loved ones, it would all end with Goku teleporting Cell away to keep his friends and family safe. It was kinda ironic too. The last time he'd be able to save his friends would be an unusual way for Goku. Most of the time, Goku would win based on his power, but not this time. Goku trained Gohan to be even stronger than him, allowing someone else to finally take down the main antagonist. But because of Gohan's immaturity, the responsibility of handling Cell goes back to Goku, and like he always does, he finds a way to eliminate the threat. I think that would have been a nice cap to Goku's character, but also a good way to end the original run of Dragon Ball. But as we all know, Dragon Ball did not end with the Cell saga. The last saga in Dragon Ball Z is the Buu saga. And when getting to this part, my first thought was, do I have to pick just one? Like, there are so many glaring problems with the Buu saga that picking just—
Oh shit. Oh, he's not even done. Oh shit. Oh, he was done with the Cell saga. I thought he had more to say. So I disagree, but this one I do really see where he's coming from, but I disagree. I think for me, I'm gonna take a page out of your book. Instead of the issue being Goku Cell coming back, hell, let the issue be
Cell blowing himself up to begin with.
You've already made it clear that Goku's low HP and Gohan's being cocky, and Cell is going to outsmart Gohan in the story. So instead of, and I don't want to go Mr. Fan Manga here, but I'm just taking what he's saying and trying to build upon it to something where I can get behind. Instead of Cell blowing himself up, Goku taking him into King Kai's, and then Cell coming back, how about Cell just sneaks the fuck out of Goku? or tries to sneak the fuck out of Goku, and you get the same scene where Gohan sacrifices his arm or his leg or whatever the fuck, because that's ultimately the route you go anyway. We don't know, obviously, the power scalers, the well-actuallyers. We don't know who's stronger between Super Perfect Cell and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Many people believe Gohan, but I understand that's a whole power scaling debate. However, we do know Gohan Super Saiyan 2 in that moment is clearly stronger. However, Cell was smarter. Cell was a more sadistic bastard that could outmaneuver the situation into something he could favor. So if Gohan makes that same sacrifice, maybe even for his father instead of Vegeta, and now you have the same father-son Kamehameha moment, granted Goku's actually there and Gohan's with his fucking father in that moment, the imagery could be over 1 million and you could still kill Goku after the fact. So I think if rather than saying that the issue is Goku coming back, yada, 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 I would just say more so, nah, Cell shouldn't have rage quit, blew himself up. Because if anything, it's kind of weird that like Cell's whole thing was somewhat low-key having Saiyan biology and wanting to fight. But then push come to shove, there goes that Frieza. So it was interesting. But that take's not that bad. That take's really not that bad.
Last saga in Dragon Ball Z is the Buu saga. And when getting to this part, my first thought was, do I have to pick just one? Like, there are so many glaring problems with the Buu saga that picking just—
He's being an asshole about it, and he ain't wrong. I'm gonna like that. The Buu saga of all of them, and I get some of my Buu saga underrated fans out there. Got a couple.
Just one that I think is the biggest problem was a little tough. In the end, I finally figured it out. And to me, the biggest problem with the Buu saga—
Pre-Gohan main character?
Parlay predictions. I'm going Gohan main character. He might double down on the blow yourself up shit not working with Vegeta, but I think that's cap. I think Cell's self-destruction and Vegeta's self-destruction are two different narrative points. I think he's better than that. Or he's gonna go Super Saiyan 3. One of the three.
Is bringing Goku back to life. Now I think—
Bang. They call me Sage Ruth around these streets, man. I'm tired of telling you the plays, man. I be giving you the parlay, but you don't want to log in. You don't want to check the right boxes. Come on, bro.
I think Dragon Ball Z should have ended after Cell for a couple of reasons. The first is because I don't think Gohan's character makes for a good main protagonist in a story like Dragon Ball. I think the love Goku has for fighting makes Dragon Ball Z what it is, and Gohan just doesn't fit in that role. The other reason—
He's not one of them. He's not one of them.
And I think Dragon Ball Z should have ended after Cell is because it provided a great close to Goku's character. Bringing Goku back for a day because of the tournament was okay, but bringing Goku back to life in the Buu saga diminished the significance of the time we saw with characters like Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. After Vegeta's death, the series shifted to focusing on the younger generation of Saiyans. We saw Goten and Trunks master the fusion dance and also witnessed Gohan become the strongest character in Dragon Ball. And instead of Gotenks or Gohan defeating Buu, Goku was brought back to life so he could try another type of fusion while kinda losing just so he could go on to defeat Buu alone with the Spirit Bomb. It just seems like there was a lot of going in circles to get to a result that we were all too familiar with. So let's recap. The biggest problem in the Saiyan saga is
that's a different and creative reason for why you would argue Goku coming back was the issue. And I give you that, bro. I can't hate on that one. That one, I could see where you're coming from. I wouldn't say that's my biggest issue, but that one, I'm not going to necessarily say I disagree with that idea. If you're going to have a problem with Goku coming back, yeah, you don't have to make it main character Gohan. You don't have to make it main character Gotenks. However, you could easily write it to where Goku gives one final lesson, kind of like how for my manga niggas, you know how Roshi gave Goku that last lesson in the Tournament of Power manga edition? You could have something like that go on with Goku. He can't get it done, but Gotenks in the Crash Out Super Saiyan 3 form can, or Gohan, or both of them, whatever the case can. So if you're going to remove Goku, yeah, I give you that logic, but without making them the main character. You don't want to portray it as they're the main character because it's a mistake in my opinion. However, I don't necessarily go that route. I think there's many things, like many things as you implied. I'm gonna keep it simple. The arc's too long. Arc's way too long. You could tell the arc kind of loses direction a couple times. I know that like I called splitting things into the Android saga corny, but like you literally are telling 3 different stories from Fat Boo to Super Boo to Kid Boo. They are literally like 3 different stories, and that may be a consequence of the antagonist's personality changing that drastically. It may be Super Boo and Kid Boo are of the same cloth, but that first half of the Boo saga where you're getting Saiyan, Gohan, and then the Deborah fights, and then Majin Vegeta, you could easily have Majin Vegeta be the big bad villain of that arc, have a different ending, and then start a new arc centered around Majin Buu, and that would honestly be sexier and more appealing for pacing issues. But instead, you kind of fit a Majin Vegeta arc with a Fat Buu arc with a Menace Buu arc. It's like 3 separate arcs glued into one. And it's fucking paced weird for gimmicks and trolls. So yeah, I would say for me, honestly, the pacing of the Buu saga is abysmal, respectfully. But there's a lot of aspects about it that you could pick apart as well. A lot of people don't like Goku there. A lot of people don't like Gohan being that weak. A lot of people don't like that Super Saiyan 3 exists. There's a ton of things to talk about the Buu saga. It's the Buu saga. I think it's not a bad arc, but it is easily the most flawed arc up until this point in the series. Absolutely.
The introduction of power levels. For the Frieza saga, it was the concept of zenkai boost. In the Cell saga, it was the return of Cell, and for the Buu saga, it was the revival of Goku. Those are my 4, but I'm sure most of you have different opinions, so let me know down in the comments what the biggest problem is in the East Dragon Ball Z saga for you. And with that being said, if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. This is Big Toon, and thanks for watching. Y'all up.
Type shit. WVid Toon, I'm not gonna lie. Hey chat, comment below what's your biggest issue with these arcs. I'm not gonna lie, because I know you guys have a ton of issues with pretty much everything in Dragon Ball, and then I know there's a separate half of the DB community that thinks Dragon Ball has never missed. It's all peak. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know your thoughts on let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know your oh fuck.
English is hard. I'm ending the goddamn video. I tried to outro it 3 times.